Project Management Professional Training Session 13 Part C. Perform audits and inspections. Already discussed in the control quality section, you can apply these tools here in a similar way. For example, in an inspection you can perform a structural review of the contractor's work, e.g., review actual work or review final product, i.e., deliverable. Depending on the field, this review could take many forms, e.g., in software engineering, it could be a code walkthrough. In this process, the audit would be a structural review of the overall procurement process. The buyer and seller's project managers should share the results from the audit and make necessary changes. Create work performance information. Similar to any monitoring and controlling process, data analysis and audit and inspections will generate work performance information. In this process, for example, work performance information will include information on how the seller's performance is in terms of schedule, cost, and technical performance as compared against the SOW. Generate change requests. Deviations found during the data analysis and audit and inspections will generate change requests, e.g., to the procurement management plan, schedule baseline, and cost baseline. As always, change requests are processed through the Perform Integrated Change Control process. Because there are two parties, buyer and seller, involved in procurement, there may arise disagreement on whether the deviation or change happened or if the solution, e.g., compensation, to the change is acceptable. The preferred method for resolution would be through negotiations, as may be described in the contract. If negotiations fail, then these changes are called disputed claims and are processed through alternative dispute resolution, ADR, which may be referred to in the contract. Handling these kinds of changes is called claim administration. Like in any process, the change requests and some actions may cause the need to update some documents, such as those listed in the output column of Table 12.7. Close procurements. When you or your team have accepted all the deliverables from the sellers through the control procurements process and there are no payments due or unresolved claims, then the procurement team, through an authorized administrator, can formally close the procurement, as described in the procurement management plan and the contract. This includes closing all the agreements or contracts. In a nutshell, you use the control procurement process to monitor and control the implementation to the SOW and any agreements between sellers and buyer, ending with the sellers delivering the procurement items. The three most important takeaways from this chapter are the following. 1. All change requests must go through the integrated change control process, and only the approved changes should be implemented. 2. Tests and evaluations, an output of the managed quality process, describes tests and evaluations that can be used by the control quality process to verify that quality has been applied. 3. The risk monitoring process is used not only to monitor the identified risks, secondary risks, and residual risks, but also to identify new risks and direct them onto the path of analysis to response management. Summary. You need to monitor and control your project throughout its lifecycle, which includes monitoring and controlling project work, including procurements, performance, changes, quality, and risks. You monitor and control your project by collecting project performance data, generating performance measurements from it, calculating the deviations of these from the planned ones, and taking appropriate action to stay the course or bring the project back on track. All aspects of the project are monitored and controlled using two high-level processes that belong to integration management: monitor and control project work and perform integrated change control, under which other monitor and control processes run, such as control quality, monitor risks, and control procurements. Project deliverables, an output of the direct and manage project work process, are verified by the control quality process. By comparing the work performance generated by the direct and manage project work process with the project plan, the monitor and control processes generate change requests with the goal of keeping the project on track. These and other change requests from any process or stakeholder are processed through the Perform Integrated Change Control process for approval. If approved, the execution or implementation of these changes is managed using direct and manage project work, a process in the executing process group. Road ahead, as we mentioned, monitor and control processes are available in all aspects of a project. In the chapters that follow, we will explore these processes in the resource, cost, schedule, and scope aspects of a project. Exams I view. Comprehend. Controlling procurement includes closing procurement at the end. You monitor and control the project in an integrative way by using two processes: monitor and control project work and perform integrated change control. All the individual monitor and control processes, such as monitor risk, control quality, and control schedule, can generate change requests, which must be processed through the perform integrated change control process, in which each of these change requests will be deferred, rejected, or approved. The control quality process verifies the deliverables and takes quality control measurements, using inspection, data analysis, data presentation, and other techniques to check if quality requirements are met and quality standards are conformed to. Look out. The procured deliverables are provided by the sellers during the control procurements process before the procurement is closed. Change requests can come from any monitor and control process or directly from stakeholders, but they all must be processed through the perform integrated change control process. The performance reports, generated by the monitor and control project work process, are an input to the perform integrated change control process. Approved change requests and only the approved change requests must be implemented, i.e., processed, through the direct and manage project work process. Tests and evaluations, an output of the manage quality process, describes tests and evaluations that can be used by the control quality process to verify that quality has been applied. Implementation of risk responses is managed by the implement risk responses process and not by the monitor risk process. Memorize. Change requests are an output of the monitor and control project work process and the direct and manage project work process, but they can also come from other monitor and control processes, or directly from stakeholders. The perform integrated change control process is used to approve, reject, or postpone a change request. Project deliverables are generated by the direct and manage project work process, verified through the quality control process, accepted by the customer through the validate scope process, and transitioned to the appropriate party through the close project or phase process. The control quality process generates quality control measurements as an output item, which becomes an input into the manage quality process. Work performance data generated by the direct and manage project work process is used as an input to the monitor risks process to generate work performance information. Review questions. 1. Every change request must be processed through which process? A. Perform integrated change control. B. Project charter and stakeholder register and direct and manage project work. C. Monitor and control project work. D. Process change requests. 2. The integrated change control process is used to manage changes to the project at which stage? A. From initiating through closing. B. Planning only. C. Executing only. D. Monitoring and controlling only. 3. A project manager is getting the risk-related recommended corrective actions approved. Which of the following processes is the project manager involved in? A. Perform integrated change control. B. No process. C. Risk identification. D. Monitor and control project work. 4. You have just received approval from the Change Control Board to implement a few change requests. What process are you going to execute for that to happen? A. No process is needed. B. Direct and manage project work. C. Perform integrated change control. D. Monitor and control project work. 5. Walking down the hallway, you hear a program manager saying to a project manager, "You need the performance reports to run this process." To which process might the program manager be referring? A. Monitor and control project work. B. Perform integrated change control. C. Close project or phase. D. Evaluate performance. 6. You are using an Ishikawa diagram to find the real causes of a problem by exploring all the possible causes. Which quality process are you performing? A. Manage quality. B. Plan quality. C. Control quality and plan quality. D. Control quality. 7. You want to examine the results of a process to determine whether the process is in or out of control. Which of the following is the most suitable tool to use? A. Control chart. B. Cause and effect diagram. C. Inspection. D. Scatter diagram. 8. You are managing a software project with limited development resources. The QA department has discovered a large number of defects in the product, and the project sponsor is very concerned about this. You want to get the maximum number of defects repaired with minimal effort and cost. Which quality control tool are you going to use before you direct the efforts of the project team to fixing specific problems? A. Control chart. B. Cause and effect diagram. C. Inspection. D. Scatter diagram. 9. You are the project manager for a software development project that has limited resources. The customer is concerned about the quality of the code developed and wants you to conduct a code review. The product contains a large body of code with millions of lines. Which approach will you take? A. Tell the customer it's not possible. B. Use statistical sampling. C. Use automated testing tools. D. Arrange to review each line of the code. 10. Which of the following is not an input to controlling quality? A. Project deliverables. B. Work performance measurements. C. Quality control measurements. D. Test and evaluation documents. 11. Which of the following tools or techniques is not listed in PMBOK to be used in the control quality process? A. Statistical sampling. B. Performance reviews. C. Fishbone diagrams. D. Change control tools. 12. A project manager is getting risk-related recommended corrective actions recommended by his team. In which of the following processes is the project manager involved? A. Perform integrated change control. B. Plan risk responses. C. Identify risks. D. Monitor risk. 13. A project manager is getting the risk-related recommended corrective actions approved. In which of the following processes is the project manager involved? A. Perform integrated change control. B. Plan risk responses. C. Identify risks. D. Monitor risks. 14. In project risk management, which of the following statements is not true? A. Risk report contains information about the overall project risk. B. Exploiting an opportunity ensures that the positive risk does occur. C. An output of the plan risk responses process is a document called the risk response plan. D. The lowest level of RBS can often be used as a checklist, which could be the list of risk categories. 15. Which of the following is not an input to the monitor risks process? A. Work performance reports. B. Work performance information. C. Work performance data. D. Risk management plan. 16. Which of the following is the correct order in which to perform the listed processes? A. Validate scope, quality control, close project or phase. B. Quality control, validate scope, close project or phase. C. Validate scope, close project or phase, control procurements. D. Quality control, close project or phase, control procurements. 17. Which of the following is not an activity of the control procurements process? A. Issuing formal acceptance of the procured products. B. Handing over the accepted products to the appropriate parties, such as the customer or the sponsor. C. Closing all the contracts associated with the procurement. D. Archiving lessons learned documents. 18. Which of the following shows the correct order in which to perform the listed processes for the first time? A. Direct and manage project work, control procurements, perform integrated change control. B. Control procurements, perform integrated change control, direct and manage project work. C. Perform integrated change control, control procurements, direct and manage project work. D. Perform integrated change control, direct and manage project work, control procurements.